It's been 10 million years since I ordered the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection. At least it feels like it. It was last March, I think. They released two Wonder Boy collections. One was a normal retail version, which had Wonder Boy, I think, 1, 2, and 4, 5, depending on how you're counting. And now we are looking at the one that was produced by Strictly Limited Games, one of these limited games companies, based in Germany, by the way. So didn't take that long to get here. It was a huge hassle. There's a huge lack of communication between this company. Took longer than anticipated. I think they planned to launch in, I think, last summer, and then it got pushed back and got pushed back and back and back. So now, almost 1 year later, we are finally getting our hands on this collection. What makes it different? Well, this collection actually has all the Wonder Boy games in it, including 3 and the Wonder Usher in Wonderland. I don't have the exact name. It's Monster World 5, 4. The numbers are all confusing, and my cat is driving me crazy. So yeah, sorry about that. It was a huge thing that they released this super pared down version for the retail. I thought, oh, that's nice, and then it only got 3 games in there, I think, 3 or 4. I think 3. And in the end, I thought, okay, oh, they're having a complete version on Strictly Limited. And I thought, because Innen is releasing the pared down version, and they're the same company, Strictly Limited and Innen, that there wouldn't be that much of a delay, but no, it took an eternity to actually get here. And another kick in the balls for people who ordered this, I think last October or September, they announced an Asian version of this collection. As of yet, it's not quite known if it's the exact same content or if it only has the main versions of these Wonder Boy games. The cool thing about this collection is that it's similar to the M2 PlayStation 2 collection, because it not only has all the games, it has all the games in different forms. So we can look at this together. I finally got it open. I got the normal standard edition, not the super fancy big box version, because quite frankly, I don't have the room for it. So here it is. I don't remember if it came with any extras. We got a Strictly Limited sticker. We got a postcard. Wonder Boy Anniversary Wonder Boy Collection. That's the full title of it. So we got a postcard for that. And we got the Anniversary Wonder Boy Collection. It says here Wonder Boy 35th Anniversary. So let's unbox this. You can see there's no rating or anything on it. So I assume it is... I've never bought a limited release like this. So I assume because it's not on store shelves, it doesn't need any rating system. I got number 2,295 out of 4,000 Switch copies. It was also released for the PlayStation 4. Which I'm not really interested in. And yeah, let's unwrap this. On the back we see all the logos. It has Wonder Boy, and of it has the arcade SG-1000, Master System, Mark III and Game Gear versions. Can't make this up. You are standing here and for some reason your cat is going crazy. So could you please not? Thank you. Let's see, recording still going, thank God. Yeah, it has that. It has Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, which is Wonder Boy 3. It has the Master System Mark III version, which was never actually released. A little fun fact. And the Game Gear version, which is completely different. Well, not completely different, but an overhauled version of the Master System original. We have Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Arcade Master System Mark III, Wonder Boy Monster World, Mega Drive, Genesis, Master System and Mark III. I'm not sure if the Mega Drive and Genesis version there's any difference. I can't imagine there is. We have another Wonder Boy 3. This time it's Monster Lair. There are 2 Wonder Boy 3s, Dragon's Trap and Monster Lair. Arcade and Mega Drive. And then we have Monster World 4 for the Mega Drive. This is the version. Monster World 4 just got another remake, I think, last year. And I never played that. The interesting one there is that on the Switch version, it actually came with an emulated version of the original Mega Drive version of Monster World 4. And I thought, that's cool. And then they announced the collection. So far, Monster World 4 is the only one I haven't played. So that's the main reason I got this one. So let's go in here. We got the Game On card. It got one of the smaller cards. Of course, it's only ROMs. So it has the green back. And in here, there's a manual. Let's take a look. Very nice, very thick, actually. Very surprising. Here we have Wonder Boy. I'm not going to show you everything. If you want it, get it. I mean, it's pretty boring. You have all the versions and the controls next to it. I mean, that's kind of useful. Oh, in the back it gets a bit more interesting. It's not actually a manual for any of the games. That's a bit disappointing. It's only a few screenshots of the games included. I would have loved, like, okay, a little story synopsis of all of this. But it's not. Well, that's a bit sad. Yeah, here we have, this is not like the emulation is completely different from the PlayStation 2 collection. This is an emulator by some German company. I don't have the name. I don't have the name on hand right now. Maybe we'll see in the splash screens. And there are still a few versions missing. We'll get into that later. But this is the box. There's a nice collector's edition of it as well. But this is the one we are looking at today. The manual postcard, that's basically it. Let's put this into the Switch and take a look. All right then, let's remove Ring Fit for a moment and plug in the Wonder Boy or the Anniversary Wonder Boy collection. Here we go. I'm playing with the Pro Controller right now. Of course, I would not recommend that. The D-pad on any Switch controller is horrible, which is why a while ago I got my hands on the Hori Fighting Commander, which is lovely to play 2D games with. So I recommend getting your hands on that if you're interested in some 2D games to play. Because honestly, the D-pad's just terrible. So let's get this a bit louder. Nice music for the background. We have multiple languages to choose from, apparently. Oh no, the controller is not paired correctly. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, then let me grab these planned for decoration Joy-Cons over here. Let's recenter the Switch if that's the case. Yeah, we have multiple questions to choose from. Okay, German, English, let's choose this. So, we have English, we have multiple games to choose from. We have Wonder Boy Monster Land, Wonder Boy 3, Monster Lair, Monster World 2, which is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, Monster World 3, which is Wonder Boy in Monster World, Monster World 4, which is Monster World 4, or the Asha game. We have a gallery. Let's get into this. Now, okay, the music is very... It's not very well balanced for some reason here. Okay, Wonder Boy collection. We have some artwork. We have an art book. Art book 1. Ah, okay. So we have multiple pieces of artwork for many of these games. Here we can, let's see, zoom in. Yes, with the right stick. Seems to be not the best resolution, right? It's still pretty small. It's on the Switch card. So if you zoom way in, you can see some, well, muddiness, but that's to be expected. So some cool things. We have the soundtracks. All right. Oh no, it's not the sound. It's artwork for the soundtracks. All right. That's how you can title that too, I guess. So, I don't know, are these new soundtracks? Are these old school titles? I'm not sure. title illustrations. Oh, because we're in the Wonder Boy collection. Did they make artworks? Did they release standalone soundtracks for this? I'm not so sure. Illustrations, like it's all in menus within menus within menus. I'm not sure if I really like this. Oh, we got scans of the manuals. That's fantastic. Of course I think I have all of them. I have all the Wonder Boy games. The only one missing is Monster World 4 for my collection. So we got this. Of course, this is the, let's say, good manual. There is, of course, the 500 languages crammed onto one page version that all the Master System games had as well. So you can actually look through the manual. That's pretty neato. So, and of course for all the titles. I wonder why they chose the Japanese names for all of these. Monster World 2, why isn't it the Dragon's Trap? I'm not sure. So we got the manuals here. Ah, okay, so this is the more traditional Master System, or in this case, I guess Game Gear manual. Like 500 languages crammed onto one page, no pictures. No thank you. Oh, okay, so this is the Master System EU version and the American version of the manual right here. Now we get into the good stuff, Japanese stuff. Of course, they had color manuals. Man, they were living the good life back then. So we get that. Okay, I think you get it. We have view credits for this collection, I guess. So let's see. Let's play something. Of course, we can choose the original Wonder Boy. System 1, that's the arcade version. SG-1000, that's the SG-1000 version. Mark III is the Japanese Master System. And the European one is just the Master System here. I think the only difference is that the Japanese version is called Super Wonder Boy. I think the game itself is not much different. The Game Gear version is a bit different. They redrew some of the sprites, I think. And then they released it in the West as the Revenge of Dranken. For some reason. They didn't put the Wonder Boy name on it. I don't understand this. So we have this, and we can play, I don't know, let's choose the SG-1000 version, which is actually not a very good version to play. I played it a few years ago, so let's do start game. I don't know, yes, we have to hold down the plus button for quite a while. SG-1000. Let's go! Alright. Of course, why would you play the SG-1000 version if you can get the arcade version in the same collection, simply for historical interest? I'm actually a rather big fan of the SG-1000. I think it's a pretty cool console. It's basically a slightly rebranded ColecoVision by Sega, which was released in Japan and later in Australia, and I think it had a super limited release in Europe, but only in computer form. There was the SC-1000, I think, which was basically an SG-1000 in a computer package. So that's pretty neato, and we can go through it. It's still very playable. Of course, it's choppy as hell, and the emulation, I don't know, seems good to me. There is sprite flickering. I'm not sure if you can turn that off. I would guess they chose a more accurate emulation route for this title instead of trying to improve on the original release, which I'm all for as well. So we died right here. That's probably the version of the game you have never seen, and something to definitely look at if you ever want to play this game. So we can hold the plus button, we can get into the menu right here, save states and so on. Let's close the game, let's do something else. Let's go to another game, or maybe let's talk about some of the problems the collection has. We have all the Wonder Boy versions, the computer versions are missing. I think there are quite a few computer versions of it. Wonder Boy and Monsterland. We have the console versions and the arcade version. We do not have the computer versions. They are missing. Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair. I think this is the biggest one. We have the System 16 arcade version and the Mega Drive version. It's generally agreed on that the Mega Drive version is not the console version to get. The TurboGrafx 16 version is the one to get. It's not on this collection. I understand some of the other ports not being on the collection. So of course Adventure Island is not here. That Sayuki game that is based on Monster World is not here. The for example here for Wonder Boy 5, Dynastic Heroes for the TurboGrafx is not here. I can understand that they were rebranded. However, Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair was released on the TurboGrafx as a Wonder Boy game, as Wonder Boy Monster Lair. I think that's just the title of it. And I'm quite frankly shocked and a bit disappointed that it's not part of the collection. We have this version, we have the, by the way, this got translated in I think 2012, very late for the Xbox 360. It got an official English translation. There was a fan translation way later. And this is, as far as I know, the second physical release of it. The first one is on the Ashura remake, as mentioned earlier. Where, by the way, as far as I know, only the Switch version has the emulated version on the card. The PS4 version, it's a download for that. So here we have the original Japanese version and the American English version. And yeah, that's practically it. Let's go, I don't know, let's do Monster Lair, which is another Wonder Boy game you probably don't really know about. Wonder Boy 3. Yeah, there are two Wonder Boy 3s to be exact. Wonder Boy 3, this is the arcade Wonder Boy 3. And then there's Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. Oops. I'm not sure how to get further. Insert coin, or maybe, no, it's not the minus button. L, R. Oh, we can rewind, fast forward, okay, with the L, ZL and ZR buttons. How do I insert a coin? Ah, pressing the left stick seems to do it. So, right here. This Wonder Boy 3, you know, Wonder Boy 2, which was Monster Land, is more of an action-adventure stealth game, whereas Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair went back to the original Wonder Boy for its design. This game is generally regarded as one of the more disappointing entries because it's not an action-adventure, but there are also some technical things. You see, you have to be very far to the right to actually scroll the screen any further. It scrolls automatically, of course, but you know, we are all impatient. We cannot wait for too long. This is the first time I've actually playing the arcade version. I own the Mega Drive version of it. And I don't hate it as much as other people do. It was one of the European and Japanese exclusive games. So the US, the only version you could play was the TurboGrafx version of this. And the Mega Drive version never came out on the American Genesis. So I actually own the European version. It's in my collection. It's packed away. I didn't get it out for this video. I really should have. But I like this game. It overstays its welcome quite a bit. So it's a very long game. The interesting thing is one of the final bosses is actually the main character from Wonder Boy 2. So you have the Wonder Boy on a dragon flying around, I think. It's one of the final bosses of this game. So that's something that includes a bit of weird continuity. Because then in Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, he got transformed into multiple monsters and had to regain his human form. Speaking of Wonder Boy 3, let's get into that, because I'm sure a lot of you have played the remake of Wonder Boy 3 that is on all the different consoles. Oh no, that's the wrong one. So it's very confusing with all the names. This is the one. Wonder Boy, here we have Wonder Boy 3, or in Japanese it's called Monster World 2. What's the difference here? Well, we have a different soundtrack. The Western release has the, what is the short? PCG soundtrack? I'm not sure. And the Japanese has the FM version. I'm honestly never a big fan of the FM versions, but now I have the chance to actually play this one. I don't have my Master System modded to get my hands on this with the original soundtrack. Or original, improved soundtrack, the FM soundtrack. Wonder Boy 3 generally regarded as one of the best. The FM soundtrack? It sounds very close to the original I'm used to. Maybe this track isn't that different. Or are you telling me they don't have the FM version? I'm not so sure right now. And let's compare this directly. Oh no, I think this is the FM version. It's so muffled. The FM is technically higher quality, but I always think it loses a lot of its punch. Let's get into the Western release to listen to the other soundtrack. Alright, let's start this. Yeah, as I said, this is generally regarded as one of the best 8-bit games and one of the best 8-bit action adventures, RPG, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. If you're a fan of the Master System, you already know this game. That sounds very close to it. Actually, let's check this out. Let's do, can we do options? Is there a way to get the other soundtrack? Let's say it sounds very close. I need to do a direct comparison. Okay, let's have a save slot here. Let's go back out. Let's get back into the Japanese version. Let's do a direct comparison between this. Let's do a save state here then too, so it's easier to compare. That's the same soundtrack. Isn't it? I'm not so sure how it's supposed to sound. Let's save a state right here. Okay, do we have gameplay, rewind, controls, video? We have a few filter options, of course, crisp, none, whatever. That's not what we are here for. There's no option to change the music. Let's listen to it again. Okay. Let's get out here. Let's go out. Oh, no, it's slightly different, I think. Let's go back. I think I'm going crazy. Either the difference isn't too big between these games. I think it's slightly different. Alright. So maybe it's the FM version right here. I can't be too sure right now. I would need to hear the Sidecrawler's Dance. You know, one of the big iconic songs in the game, to really make sure right now. But I think it sounds a bit different. Yeah, there's a difference. It's not exactly the same. I thought I was going crazy. That would have been a huge disappointment if they didn't have the FM soundtrack for Wonder Boy 3 right here. So of course, Wonder Boy 5, this is Wonder Boy 5 Monster World 3 to be precise. Let's see, yes, we see that in the Japanese title. Wonder Boy 5 Monster World 3. Craziness in the West, it was known as Wonder Boy in Monster World. And what's really cool, you get the Master System version of the game, which is actually pretty cool. It's a really like technical marvel of the Master System, even though I think gameplay-wise it's a step back from Wonder Boy 3. But still very playable and a version I recommend checking out. But this is a classic game, and I'm looking forward to finally giving this game a chance right here. Let's do Mega Drive. Let's quickly go into this just to check it out. Pepilog, and his name is, I think. I can't really speak for the emulation quality of the music. Often Mega Drive music emulation is not that great. I must say, through the Switch speakers right now, I don't really hear any difference or any problems with it right now. We would need to have someone like Digital Foundry or someone who really knows the music of the Mega Drive to check that out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finally playing this. Now, I was waiting for a physical version. I wanted to get the remake to have the original version, but now I have the full collection right here with the English translation finally pressed onto a card. So as I said, if you missed out on this, the pre-order of it is practically finished. So you cannot get it anymore from Strictly Limited. As far as I know, it's sold out. Maybe you can get one of the bigger limited editions, like the expensive ones. But if you want to get this, there's an Asian version of this coming out to regular retail, which is a kick in the balls for everyone who has waited a year for this version. And from what I've read online, it should include all the different versions as well. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there are only the main versions of them in there, but I would be very surprised if there were. You can get it on Play Asia, it's right there. I thank you at this point very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Wonder Boy collection, and I see you in the next video.